We are entrusted with the singular constitutional responsibility of providing for a general, uniform, and thorough system of public free common schools throughout Idaho. Frankly, I'm convinced that we would see this as our highest priority, even if it wasn't in our Constitution. So promoting and constantly improving education for the people of Idaho must be the foundation of our work here together. We made promises during the Great Recession that we are duty-bound to fulfill. We have priorities for Idaho's future that require world-class K-12 schools and an advanced, responsive post-secondary education system. And now, we have the financial means. My legislative agenda for 2016 and my budget recommendations for fiscal 2017 reflect the priority that I place on living within the people's means while making responsible, sustainable, and data-driven investments in our K through career education system. My focus is on supporting student achievement by continuing to responsibly implement the 20 recommendations of our School Improvement Task Force. Along with insisting on transparency and robust local accountability, the foundation we're building will advance our goal of ensuring that 60% of the Idaho citizens between the ages of 25 and 34 have a college degree or a professional technical certification by the year 2020. Let me impress upon you once again the urgent need to address the cornerstone of successful lifelong learning, reading proficiency. Last year in this chamber, I called on the Idaho business community to help us address the clear need for improving the attainment of that basic skill amongst our youngest students. Proactive parents start with that process at home before kindergarten, and students refine their reading skills in those early school years. Through the 3rd grade, they learn to read, but the 4th grade on, they read to learn. So if we're serious about wanting long-term improvement in school outcomes, we must intensify our efforts to provide the kind of proven support that works for students who struggle to develop reading skills. I want to thank the Idaho Business for Education and other stakeholders and practitioners who developed recommendations for addressing our early reading challenges. My budget includes $10.7 million to pay for the intervention support for students in kindergarten through 3rd grade who are not yet proficient on the state reading indicator. Sherry, did you start that? Yeah, okay. That will improve the chances for more Idaho students to succeed through high school and beyond. Overall, I'm calling for a 7.9% increase in public school funding, including more than $38 million to continue putting the teacher career ladder in place. And I'm asking for almost $1.8 million to move such non-instructional school staff as counselors, nurses, and speech pathologists onto the career ladder. I believe implementing the career ladder based on specific student success measures is essential to attracting and retaining the best teachers for Idaho schools. Success in teacher retention also means continuing investments in their personal development. Now, I know from Miss Lori just how demanding those early years in the classroom can be. So I'm asking for an investment of $5 million for professional development aimed specifically at mentoring the new teachers. Thank you, Lori. I also support Superintendent Ibarra's request to fully restore pre-recession levels of operating funds to school districts. Our task force recommended a 5-year plan for that process, but the timeline can be cut to 3 years by improving my recommendation for nearly $30 million. Properly applied, technology also is an increasingly necessary factor in our 21st century classroom. That's why I'm recommending that we continue investing not only in devices, but also in teacher training and software to make the most of the opportunities that technology affords. But with or without the latest technology, The most important resource our students have is the classroom teacher. Task Force recommended moving Idaho to a voluntary mastery of subject matter content and concepts rather than classroom seat time. Now, I appreciate the legislature's investment to start implementing that mastery-based education, as well as Superintendent Ybarra's focus on achieving that goal. So my fiscal year 2017 budget includes $1.1 million to support up to 20 school districts in developing model programs for others to follow throughout Idaho. I had the chance last month to experience a little of what innovation mastery-focused learning looks like in our classrooms. I participated in an hour of code exercise with fifth graders at Boise Garfield Elementary School. Immersing myself in that environment and watching those students do the same, I saw firsthand the difference that individualized learning can make in comprehension, application, and ultimately mastery. From reading proficiency to mastering concepts, and from our community colleges to our universities, our emphasis must be on going that extra mile to prepare students to succeed in a complex and competitive global economy. That preparation, in turn, will support and advance the economic growth and the increasing prosperity that we are all striving to achieve. So let's talk for a moment about the connections that we're building between K-12 and career. First, there's the STEM Action Center that's been up and running since July. An executive director and a program manager and a board of directors have been named. Now it's ready for the next step, and our industry partners throughout Idaho are eager to join us in supporting its work. My budget recommendation includes $2 million in ongoing operating funds for the center, as well as $10 million in one-time funds for startup STEM programs, including a K through career program in computer science to help meet the high demands for those workplace skills. Ensuring that students are college and career ready is critical to the employer as it is to Idaho's young people. I hear it every day from businesses large and small and in every industry sector throughout Idaho. That's why higher standards, more individualized learning, more dual credit offerings, and more professional technical options are high priorities in my budget recommendations. Of course, taking the fullest advantage of the investments we're making will require students and parents to have more and better information about post-secondary and career opportunities. So I'm recommending that $5 million go toward implementing more career college counseling in our high schools. Local districts must have the flexibility to use that money to create systems that best fit students' needs for the course counseling, career exploration, and preparing for life after high school. Catching this faster than I thought I would. Indeed, Idaho offers many choices for those who go on. They include enrolling at one of our technical schools to study such subject areas as health occupations, web design, machine tooling, welding, or aircraft maintenance. But many of those programs have long waiting lists. And with our statewide jobless rate now at a level that used to be considered full employment, too many of our citizens remain underemployed. Meanwhile, Idaho businesses are struggling to find qualified workers. That's especially true of companies in the high-tech and industrial manufacturing fields. So my budget recommendation includes $3.8 million to address those training backlogs in industry areas where graduates will find more high-wage jobs. I'm also advancing 3 initiatives that I believe hold great promise for creating a financial foundation that students can use to reach their own and our state's post-secondary education goals. First, I'm proposing a tuition lock for our colleges and universities. It will ensure that the rate that the Idaho undergraduates pay when they first enroll in post-secondary programs will remain constant for at least 4 academic years. That brings greater financial predictability for Idaho students and their families, while also providing an incentive for timely completion of a degree or a professional certification program. Second, I'm recommending Second, I'm recommending a $5 million increase in funding for our Opportunity Scholarship so more Idaho students can afford to go beyond high school. And third, I'm proposing another $5 million to be applied and allocated for a new completion scholarship. Now, it's designed to encourage Idaho citizens who have some post-secondary education to return to the classroom and finish up. It will provide a real benefit for financially strapped adults who are trying to upgrade their job skills. The Completion Scholarship is aimed at improving access and affordability to career-oriented education programs while helping to address our pressing workforce development needs. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't emphasize enough and how important improving our K through career education system is to providing the tens of thousands of skilled workers we need to meet the increasing technical demand of Idaho employers. This truly is an investment in the future of all Idaho citizens. Dynamic new online resources such as the college and website nextsteps.idaho.gov and the construction trade portal of WeBuildIdaho.org shows the power of collaboration in achieving our shared goals. There's also an important place for our communities in this effort. 9 years ago, the legislature approved my request to provide $5 million in startup funds to help any counties that wanted to join together in establishing a community college district. With that promise of support in hand, the people of Ada and Canyon counties voted to create the College of Western Idaho. Since then, CWI has grown faster than any community college in American history. That speaks to a huge pent-up demand for the kind of low-cost, relevant, and responsive education and training programs that have been created at CWI. Now the people of southwestern, south central, and northern Idaho have exciting first-rate local opportunities to advance their career readiness aspirations. So today, I'd like to invite the people of eastern Idaho to advance their ongoing discussions about making Eastern Idaho Technical College a full-featured community college. I encourage serious public consideration of the benefits and the opportunities that a local community college can provide to that region of Idaho. My budget recommendation includes $5 million to support such a plan for making less costly and more flexible education beyond high school accessible to more Idaho citizens on that side of our state. Overall, I'm seeking a 9.6% increase in funding for our community colleges and 8.8% increase for our four-year institutions. Besides additional funding for our college completion and high-demand academic and professional technical programs, I recommend expanding Boise State University's Material Science program, the University of Idaho's Go On initiative to increase enrollment, and Idaho State University's Health Science program. That brings me to health care. First, from an education standpoint, I'm recommending that in the coming year, we follow through with our plans for providing more physician training to meet Idaho's needs. Adding 5 more seats to our medical school partnership with the University of Washington will reach the Board of Education's 2009 goal of having 40 seats available for Idaho students. That's a great investment in our students and an important step toward addressing our community health care needs.